Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. The plan was to give today's recording a miss. Reason being that I worked yesterday. I normally spend Saturday mornings putting together all the notes, all the comments, etc. A few little ideas for the following day's recording, but obviously working yesterday, I didn't have a chance to do that. I normally also spend a bit of time during the week. Normally sort of 20 minutes, half an hour a night, just putting bits and pieces together. But with it being so insanely hot this week, you know how it is. I just could not be arsed. So the plan was, as I say, to give today's recording a miss and come back next week and record next weekend for the following week. But due to the fact that it was stupidly hot and humid again last night, couldn't really sleep, woke up at 4 o'clock, tried to get back to sleep, couldn't, and I thought, do you know what the hell, rather than lie here for 3 hours trying to get back to sleep, I might as well get up and do something. So here I am. So morning everybody anyway. I'll start with a few comments from last week. Now if I miss anybody today, please forgive me. As I say, I have kind of thrown all this together at the last minute. Yes, it has taken me a couple of hours, but I'm fairly sure that I will have missed something. I've not managed to copy. Oh, Dave Taylor, I'm going to hold you off till next week if that's okay. I've not had a chance to copy and paste your message that you sent me last night. So I will be doing that one probably next week, unless I get an extended break on this one, in which case I'll try and fit it in. But if not, Dave, it'll be next week, mate. So I'll start with Lee. Morning, Lee. Good morning, everybody. Oh, for fuck's sake, tremendous. You like the outtake then? I thought I might as well keep it in. I've got 2 to go this morning. Actually, this is take 3. Whether I do keep them in or not, I don't know, because I think each of them is about 20 seconds long. I think anything over about 10 seconds and they just get boring, but we shall see. Alec, morning, Alec. Thank you for the shout out. You're more than welcome, mate, anytime. Hi to the Cena boys, and hope you enjoy your next bowling outing or wherever it is you're going. David Mansell, morning, Dave. Great video as always. Do you want to take part in the comedy tag? You have to mention your top 5 comedies and then tag 6 people in the YouTube community to take part. I will be doing that at some point, David, definitely. I haven't had a chance to do it this week. Like I said earlier, it's just been so hot this week, I just can't be bothered with anything. It's been awful. I do like the hot weather, just not working in it, and I just feel absolutely flaked out by the time I get in, and it takes all the effort just to put the computer on, let alone sit there copying, pasting notes and stuff like that. So yes, I will be doing that at some point soon, so watch this space on that one. Jimmy Lee Clifford. Morning, Jimmy Lee. I believe you're my new subscriber. If you are, thank you very much appreciated. For those of you that don't know Jimmy Lee, if you are a viewer of Higgis, he's guested on it quite a few times. So if you've seen him on that, you will know him. He's dropped me a comment this week, so welcome to the channel, mate. Why, hello there. Nice vid. Enjoyed watching it. Been trying to get time to drop by and watch. Got to say, that Fly reminded me, need to watch that DVD Callista lent me. It wouldn't be a copy of The Fly by any chance, would it? Had a lot of life issues to be dealing with. I've said this a lot of times before, Jimmy Lee. Do you prefer being called Jimmy Lee or just Jimmy or Jim? You have to let me know on that. Life does get in the way of what we do on here. It happens quite a lot. It's been happening to me quite a bit this year, where I've had to sort of cancel recordings, and you know, I've either been ill or I've been working or I've had other things to do. It happens, mate. You can't help it. This is not the be all and end all of life itself. So I do get that. Still trying to get some of the things on my watch list actually watched. Don't even go there. The more you watch my videos, the more you will realise that I'm basically terrible with watch lists and stuff like that. Though I've been told I may have to jiggle that for a rewatch of something for research purposes. I'm curious, what's that then? Is this for a future guest appearance on Higgis by any chance? We'll try and watch a few more of your vids, much appreciated. Jimmy Lee signing out. Good to hear from you, mate. As I say, welcome to the channel. I hope you like what what we're doing here. It's not so much reviews and stuff like that. It's just me basically having a bit of a chin wag with the group members. With a brew, and that's pretty much all this is. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, I'm sure you'll get on with what we're doing here. So as I say, welcome to the channel, mate, and look forward to seeing you commenting again. Stuart, good morning. Watching your vid doing last night's washing up. You're on my windowsill. I've been in stranger places. I really have. So yeah, I get that. I recently watched Eli Roth's newest movie, Thanksgiving, modern slasher but with a retro vibe. Me and the wife enjoyed it, mate. I've heard a lot about this one. I've also heard it's insanely violent, really nasty. It is on that ever-growing watch list of mine. I'm not a massive fan of Eli Roth's movies. I did not like Hostel. I've certainly not watched any of the sequels. He did one called The Green Inferno that I literally have not got the balls to put on, because I've heard so much about it. It sounds like a kind of an update of Cannibal Holocaust or something like that, which I saw once and really did not like. It's a movie I disliked intensely, and I've never had the inkling to watch it again. So The Green Inferno, the thought of that one does nothing for me. But I've heard that Thanksgiving is a little bit more mainstream, so I probably will give that a go at some point, but I've heard there's some really grisly deaths in that one. Big fan of the original Evil Dead movie, and I enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. Again, I do want to watch Evil Dead Rise. I will probably shy away from the cheese grater scene, which is the notorious part of the movie. I don't know. It's one of those that I've got to be in the right mood for. I did enjoy the original, loved it. I loved Evil Dead 2. Haven't seen Army of Darkness yet. This is the one glaring, gaping hole in my Evil Dead viewing that I need to put right at some point. But I've not seen Army of Darkness, or Evil Dead Rise. But I will be taking both of them in at some point. I friggin' hate watching modern trailers because I don't know if some dingbat has made it up. We're back to fan-made trailers, aren't we? They just irritate the hell out of me. You put really irritating. They are annoying, irritating. They just piss me off. Mostly it's my fault because I fall for them every bloody time. I haven't seen any this week, but I've not really been on either Facebook or the internet much this week, so I've not sort of fallen prey to any of them this week. But it will happen again. I know it will, because I'm an absolute sucker for them. I've only got to see what looks like a really interesting trailer. I'll play it, and the last thing on my mind is that, guess what, this is fake. But I am a little bit more wary of them now. Even little bits of news that appear on my Facebook feed about remakes and sequels and movies coming up, I'm even a little bit wary of those now as to whether they're sort of real or not. And it does wind me up that you literally have to go onto the internet and check out these bits of news and trailers just to find out whether they're real. That just winds me up. I'd rather not watch them at all than have to go searching, for the answer as to whether it's real or not. So yeah, I totally get that. Love the horror genre, but never been a fan of Hellraiser. I wouldn't call myself a fan of it. I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed the first three. I've not gone beyond that. I do intend on watching them all at some point. I believe Arrow have got a very nice Blu-ray out of the original Hellraiser, with something like a 90-minute, 2-hour documentary on the making of it, which I would actually gladly pay the $12.99 just for that. So I will be getting that one, and probably the next two, possibly Bloodline, which is the fourth one. Beyond that, I don't know. I still need to catch up with our Ginger Ninjas reviews of the Hellraiser series, just to give me some idea of what I'm in for, even though I've got a pretty good idea, as Callie from Calico Productions from Higgis has clued me up on what they're all about, but we shall see how we go with that. Don't Look Now. I think it's overrated, in my opinion, of course. Oh God. You've just destroyed Nick Rowan's classic. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I've got it on Blu-ray. It's one I've always meant to watch. I've seen the beginning, I've seen a bit of the middle, and I know how it ends, but the rest of it I have no clue. And it is one I want to take in at some time, so I will be having a look at it. I get the feeling I will regard it as a classic. Whether I'll actually like it or not is another matter, but we shall see. It's a controversial opinion, Stuart, that one. Always had a crush on Jenny Agutter, beautiful lady. I think it's from watching Logan's Run as a kid. She's a true English Rose, a really classy lady. Logan's Run was absolutely superb, so I can definitely see why you latched onto her in that film. I loved The Railway Children. Walkabout was superb. There was another one that she was in. What was it? Can't remember. I need to look at her filmography to see what else she's actually done, but they're the ones that I've seen, and I've really, really enjoyed. I know she's pretty famous at the moment for, is it Call the Midwife, which I'd rather stick pins in my eyes than watch that one. So it's not my kind of thing. So thanks for that, Stuart. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja. Morning, Jay. Saturdays at work, listening to Tony. Great way to get through the working day, innit? Rather than work, obviously. Aussie films. I'm looking forward to this. Chopper. Seen it a while back. Somebody lent me that one. I didn't realise it was an Australian film until I actually got it home and put it on. Pretty brutal, but really, really good. Razorback. Classic. Absolutely superb. Would love to watch it again. Romper Stomper. A bit nervous of that one. Russell Crowe's debut, isn't it? This is to do with skinheads and violence and stuff like that. I have seen the trailer. The trailer was pretty brutal. I will take a look at it because obviously it's a classic of Australian cinema, so I will be checking it out. If you can, check out Brolly. It's Umbrella's free streaming platform, and the Australian film section has heaps. Not sure if it works overseas, but if it is, I highly recommend it. I'll have a look. I don't think we will be able to get it over here, which is a bloody shame. Because, as you say, with it being located in Australia, their Australian section will be absolutely second to none, I'm sure. So I would love to get into that. I'll have a look, but I've got a funny feeling I'm not going to be able to get that. The Loved Ones is brutal, but so good. This is the podcast that I was listening to the week before last. I've discovered two. One called A Dingo Ate My Movie, and I believe the other one's called Sunburnt Screens, and they are both concerned with Australian cinema, which I love, absolutely love listening to them. And the Loved Ones came up on a podcast to do with, I think it was Sunburnt Screens, and I believe it was to do with the new wave of Australian horror. And they said basically what you said, that it is brutal, it is nasty stuff. And I have watched the trailer to it. It looks grisly as hell, but I would like to see it because the storyline just intrigues me. The Tunnel is a great found footage film and is on Brolly. I've managed to get a hold of The Tunnel, so I will be taking a look at that one at some point. I am right with you with 2 to 3 hour epics. I do not have time for that. That's why I have missed certain films like Jurassic World Dominion that I know I would enjoy, but I can't find the time for it. Doom 2 was 2 hours and 40 odd minutes. I had the day off to watch it. I've done it before. I tend to take a lot of half days off from work because with not doing very much during weeks off, I find it easier just to take half days off. And on my half days, I will normally put a movie on. So yeah, I've been there, done that. I'd like to see you share your thoughts on some of the great sci-fi movies of the 70s like The Omega Man, Soylent Green, Logan's Run, Westworld, etc. I would love to. And I will be doing some articles for the website on those, and also some maybe short videos. Out of that list, I have seen Logan's Run and Westworld. They're the ones I've seen. Haven't seen The Omega Man, but I have got it. And I've not seen Soylent Green, but I've got that one as well. So yeah, I really, really look forward to writing articles on those. So thanks for that, Jace. Got a great box set for Tank Girl. You're a fan. Callie loves this movie. I get the feeling it's one of those movies I'm going to watch, and the first thing I'm going to think of is I can see why that movie sings out to Callie, definitely. But yes, I will be taking a look at Tank Girl as soon as I can. And did I hear that right? You've never seen The Boys? Afraid not. I think I've seen part of the first episode and thought I'll come back to that. I tend to think that quite a lot. Challenge Tony time. Oh God, here we go. The Boys. If you are suffering superhero fatigue, which I am, this will fix it. It's great. Right, okay. I shall add that to the Challenge Tony list. I believe the episodes are only about 40-45 minutes either, so I should be able to fit one of those in a week at some point. So leave that with me. I will be on to that. Awesome vid, Tony. Take care. Thanks very much, Jay. Much appreciated as always. Good to hear from you. Loved that unboxing of the Talk to Me collector's edition, by the way, with the replica hand. It looks amazing, and that was from Umbrella as well. You know what? We need an Umbrella branch in the UK. We really, really do. Just looking at the Blu-rays and the collector's editions on that site just makes me want to order loads. So yeah, that was a cracking vid, mate. Look forward to the next one you do like that. And what an awesome looking piece of kit. I'd love to see where that's been displayed actually. Is it over your fireplace or something like that? So always good to hear from you, Jace. Thanks ever so much for that, mate. Steve Mack. Morning, Steve, our Criterion guy. On the subject again of Australian cinema, try The Rover with Guy Pearce. Not heard of that one. That's a new one on me. The Dish with Sam Neill. I didn't realise that was an Australian movie. And Picnic at Hanging Rock, which I have seen a couple of times and really, really love. And there's Snowtown from 2011 and Breaker Morant. Snowtown. Oh, I've got it. It's another one that I've always been really sort of nervous of watching. I've heard different reviews basically saying that it is nasty, really horrible, but it's based on fact. So, with it being part of Australian cinema, I will be taking a look at it. Breaker Morant, I remember that coming out very early 80s. I believe it was released on Guild Home Video, if I remember correctly. I never watched it, but it's one that I always looked at and thought, that looks interesting. And I watched a 3-part documentary about David, I can't remember his second name. He's like the godfather of Australian cinema. And Breaker Morant featured in that. And he praised that one to the sky. So I will be taking in Breaker Morant at some point, and Snowtown. So, just out of curiosity, Steve, you mentioned in one of your comments, and I don't think I've copied and pasted it here, about Umbrella had kind of defeated you with the Caligula box set due to the postage. I'm really curious, how much were they trying to charge you for shipping on that one? Because this is what I've been meaning to find out for weeks before I hit the buy it now button. But if you say it's not viable, I think you're going to wait until it turns up on eBay, which I'm very, very tempted to do. I mean, aside from sort of the magazines that are enclosed and the art cards and all the other bits and pieces, I suppose really all I want is the movie. But that ultimate director's cut or whatever it is, it looks amazing, and I would like a copy of that, but not if the shipping is going to be insanely high. So just let me know, just drop me a message or something, just let me know how much it was going to be to ship over to you, because it'll be the same for me, I should think. So thanks for that, Steve, much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Guy, morning Guy, lovely stuff as always. Cheers, mate. I love the rapid reviews, by the way. There will be more of those coming. I'm surprised that they've not got more views. I think they're in the 30s or something like that. But if I remember correctly, when I used to do quick reviews, they used to build up over time. I think they started off quite slow and they just crept up, and then I checked them out sort of 7-8 months later and they've shot up to like 100 or 200 or something. I believe the best one that I've got, I think it's Kez, and it's either 200 or 300 views, and I think that's the most views I've ever got on a video. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on those ones that I did a few weeks ago just to see how they fare. And I will be doing some more, most definitely, probably mostly on the classic movies, like the ones that JK suggested, the science fiction ones like Logan's Run and stuff like that. Because everybody pretty much knows that I've seen them on here, so there's no point in talking about them on here. But I'm sure there's room to chat about them in a shorter vid. So thanks for that, Guy. Appreciate that. Star Wars droids, don't bother. That bad. That was one of the first ones as well, wasn't it? So probably just piggybacking on the back of the original movie, just turning out any old craps, just see how it went down. Talking of Star Wars, by the way, absolutely loving this. 50 pages in already. That's unusual for me. To cover 50 pages of a book, any book, normally takes me about a month. I'm a good reader, but I tend to lose interest or start to fall asleep quite quickly during doing that. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. So thanks for putting me onto that, and the others. I'll be moving straight onto those as soon as I finish that. Or I reckon I'll get that finished within a month. I can see that coming. Let's see. DJ Tony, I'm liking the sound of that. Why? What was that all about? I don't remember that. You'll have to remind me what the hell I was talking about there. I can't remember that. Shadows of the Empire is set between Empire and Jedi, which, yes, I'm getting that now. Epic long movies, no. Quite agree. 90-minute films don't happen anymore. Shame, really. It is, like I said, every movie that you pick up, you're talking 2 hours plus. Pretty much most of them. And if they're not the sort of hour and 45, your typical sort of movie of 85, 90 minutes just doesn't seem to exist anymore, and it's such a shame. They're just nice bite-sized movies that you can pop on. You get a spare 2 hours, you think, oh, I can watch a movie there, hour and a half, and then no. I will watch them. I will still carry on watching them, and like I say, Killers of the Flower Moon, stuff like that, I do want to see them. Napoleon, but I get the feeling there are movies that I'm going to watch once, just the once, and that's it. Last time I went to the cinema was for Rise of Skywalker. People did my head in with talking or phones or loud crunching of nachos. Fuck it, done with it. Balls to the cinema. Am I going to go again? I honestly don't know. I am so used now to just watching movies at home, on my big screen TV. No interruptions unless I want them. Pause it whenever you want to nip out or whatever. It's just so convenient, and you don't have to bother with other people. I'm becoming so antisocial nowadays. I don't know what's the matter with me. I can't even pinpoint when it started, but I just can't be doing with people anymore and sitting in a room full of bloody strangers crunching away and texting away. I can't even begin to imagine how bad that would make me feel if I went again now and that happened. So it's just good to see that somebody completely agrees with me on that. 52-week movie challenge. You'll get about 3 weeks in, then it will go by the wayside. It won't, I promise. I promise. I am going to do it. I most definitely am going to do it. And I'll prove that to you on next week's vid, when I'm going to start entering things into that. So yeah, I promise I'm going to do that. Thanks again for the Higgis love. You're more than welcome. I love Higgis. That's the thought. I've not made any notes on the one that I listened to yesterday. I'm hoping I can just remember it offhand so that I do get to talk about it. Jason, you commented, are you saying Tony don't stick to his threads? He has done about 4 and not stuck to them. And you said that, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not so much not wanting to stick to them. I'm just so scatterbrained. That's what it is. I'll start a thread one week, like it was double bills a couple of weeks ago. And I said I'm going to do one every week. I didn't do one last week, and I've not got one ready for this week. I will do one for next week. I just need to get better organised. I swear to you, it's not because I can't be arsed or I don't want to do them. I just completely forget. I get wrapped up in all the comments and different things that the little bits that people used to really enjoy, just sort of, like you say, Guy, fall by the wayside. So I just need to get myself a little bit better organised, do a little bit more work during the week, so that I'm basically set up for the weekend, and all I've got to do at the weekend is copy and paste the comments on the video that I've dropped that morning. But it doesn't seem to work that way, but I'm going to work on it, because I do need to get everything in order, sort of thing. I'm a very ordered person at work. Here it's exactly the opposite. So thanks for that, Guy, much appreciated, mate. As I say, always good to hear from you. Mark, Cinema visits. I do go probably 3 or 4 times a year as my daughter enjoys going. But I think the last film I went to see for my own pleasure was Avengers Endgame. You see, that's going back a bit. That's going back 5 or 6 years, isn't it? Um, you want Australian movies? I've recommended one to you a few times already. Talk to me. You have indeed. And I've already made a note of that. I know that it's one that I do need to take in, especially after seeing JK's amazing looking sort of hand that he's got. I don't know whether you saw that vid, Mark, but if you enjoyed that film, you would love that. Um, I would imagine you could get something similar from somewhere like Forbidden Planet or something like that, but I wouldn't want anything like that in the house. That would just creep me the hell out, especially after watching that film. Um, the only thought that puts me off watching Talk to Me, and I can get past it, is I've heard there's a rather nasty sequence at the beginning with somebody trying to claw out their own eyeball and almost doing it. Now, you know I can't stand anything to do with eyes. I believe Jason's the same. Can't stand anything to do with eyes. So I've kind of put off watching it just because of that. But I'm fairly sure I can get through it. So yeah, I've taken that under advisement, Mark, and I will be taking a look at Talk to Me. Movies I've never seen. I actually did get given a scratch off movie list poster thing a few years ago, but I've never actually scratched any off. You have scratched two off because you put a post on about it and you showed me a picture of it. It's a nice looking thing, that, by the way. By the time you see this, I will probably have ordered one of those or something very similar, because there was a good selection of films on that one that you put a picture on. I actually zoomed in. The thing is, most of the ones that's on yours, I have actually seen. So if I had that one, I'd be literally scratching pretty much 3/4 of them off. But I found one on Amazon that I was looking at last night that has got pretty much, I would say, 90% of the movies I've not seen. And I just think it's a novel idea, and it's motivation to actually get some movies watched, apart from that little diary thing that I showed you last week. So Jason has a right to be security conscious. He was a security guard for 15 years. But having said that, going by the stories he's told myself and the group, I don't think that he actually gives a shit about, or gave a shit about, the job. Yeah, I get that totally. He was telling a couple of stories about that on the comments a little bit later on, which I'll go into. Yes, I did watch the Bike Riders all the way through, and it was shit. Which is a perfectly good reason for me to watch it. So I will be taking that one in. I mean, Austin Butler and Tom Hardy as bikers, how can you possibly go wrong with that? But obviously it did go wrong with you. Complete misfire. So I will be taking a look at that, but in the fullness of time. So, right, coming up to 28 minutes, I'll take my first break. I'll be back in a couple of seconds. And we're back. Right, continuing with comments. Please forgive me, by the way, my voice is a little bit croaky this morning. My head is all over the place because I've only got about 3 hours sleep last night. So if I start to fluff lines and forget things and basically be my usual bumbling self, do forgive me. Right, carrying on with comments. 4, 3, 2, 1. Callie. Morning, sweetheart. How are you? Good old Saturday morning Tony time with the brew and bickies. Can't beat it. Telling someone to get on with watching a film. Remind us all, Tony, just how long is your watch list? It's not a euphemism, is it? Yes, I know. I'm hardly in a position to be telling anybody to, you must get this one watched. Right. I'm surprised there wasn't an exclamation mark after that. Hellraiser 5 and onwards were spec scripts. Dimension Films took those scripts and added Hellraiser to them to make them full scripts. They only did this to keep the rights to the Hellraiser franchise and not because they wanted to make more Hellraiser movies, and it really does show with the later films. I actually can't wait to get into these later films just to see how, not bad, but how different they are to the original concept, let's say. So I will be taking them in, and I will also be catching up with JK's videos on them just to see what he thought. I know what your thoughts are on them. Basically not overly impressed. And I get the feeling JK is probably going to feel the same, but we shall see how we go with that one. And you put, see, that's my problem with Star Wars. Outside of the movies, there's just way too much to watch. Where do you start with it? This is the thing. Like I say, if I were to go in chronological order, that'd be sort of kind of perfect for me. You start with the original movie, you go through all the movies, and you work your way through the TV series. But if you do it in timeline order, you're starting with like the Clone Wars cartoon series, animated series. People get dead touchy about it. You call them cartoons. They're not cartoons. They're animated. It's like there's the same thing in it. No, apparently it's not. Um, I digress. Where was I? Yeah, if you do it in timeline order, you've got to wade through a load of series before you can actually get to the movies that you want to watch. And I believe the first one you're supposed to watch, movie-wise, is The Phantom Menace, which I don't, remember being overly impressed with. So yeah, that's the only thing. It's one of those, you do want to get through it, but where the hell do you start? Um, Let's see. Oh, fan-made trailers are so annoying. I've got pretty good at spotting them now. Having seen as many films as I have, I can spot the footage they've used to make it. I remember I saw one of Back to the Future 4 and instantly spotted clips from other films. I'm getting better at it. I'm becoming very wary, as I said earlier on, of not only fan-made trailers but fake news as well. There was one that went up on my feed this morning. I think it's on my notes a bit later on, so I'll come back to it. But there's a sequel to what I thought was a very good movie that is in the works, and this, that, and the other. And like I said earlier, the first thing you think is it in the works? Do I need to go on the internet and find out whether this is for real or not? You spend most of your time actually finding out whether these rumours are true rather than actually reading the articles. So I just find the things bloody annoying. I know they're clever, and I know they're really, really well put together, and it shows that these, the people that are creating them have a real flair for that kind of thing. But like I said last week, please put some kind of a bloody warning at the beginning that you are watching a fan-made thing, and it won't stop people from watching it. I'd still watch it, but what it would stop me from doing is putting it on the damn group and telling everybody that, guess what, this is coming, this is really good, this is, oh god, and then you find out that you've been made a chump of yet again. So, War and Peace. Sorry about that, Kelly. That's what last week's, mind you think that one was long, just wait till you see Jason's later on. My god, if yours is something like, a 90-minute movie like Carry On Screaming, Jason's this week is like Lawrence of Arabia. Swear to you. You flubbed your words in last week's vids when talking about Higgis, hon. Did I? Oh, I do apologise. Which bit was that? It could have been anything, knowing me. Okay, on your recommendation, I shall watch the Roadhouse remake tonight. I have said the fights look good, just not sure on the rest of it. I don't think you'll be overly disappointed. I don't think you'll think it's a bad movie. The worst you will think is it's okay, it's all right. I was really blown away by it. I thought it was really, really good, and I absolutely did not expect to come out of that movie thinking that. I thought at best I'm like that. I'm going to think, it's okay, but I wouldn't watch it again. But I tell you what, I probably would watch it again. Just put the Swayze original out of your mind, and you'll fare much better with it. But I'm really looking forward to finding out what you thought of that. Looking forward to that. Fully agreed on 2 90-minute movies is more appealing than 1 3-hour, because for one you can take a break in between films, bathroom, smoke, make a brew. Quite agree. There's nothing more off-putting than thinking I really, really want to watch this, and then you look on the back and it's like, oh Christ, 3 hours and 10 minutes long. I ain't got time to watch that. So yeah, bring back 90-minute movies, guys. Give us something that we can actually watch rather than suffer through. And I know I'm not going to suffer through Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm going to love it, but I've got to find 3.5 hours to watch it first. The shark joke is from Carry On Columbus Hunt. I should have known that. I should have realised that it was a Carry On joke. it definitely sounded it. I'm sorry, hon, but that cat really did remind remind me of you for some reason. That hairless cat picture. I must admit, I do look at it, and it's a bit like looking in a mirror. Right. There's somebody else who's taken that to heart as well. One of the guys at work, Rob, he pretty much smiles at me every time he sees me now, and it's because he sees me as a hairless cat. So thanks for that. Time to get off my cute little ass and get things done. 50 minutes in, 35 to go. Another cracking episode, hun. Looking forward to the next one. Thanks, Callie. Much appreciated. I did watch Higgis. I've got a couple of notes that I made. This is my little notebook. I carry this around with me at work when I've got Higgis running in my ear, and every time I hear something that I need to make a note of, this comes out. I'll write it in, and then pop it back in my pocket again. And this is what I would normally have transferred onto the notes in front of me, but I've not had a chance. But first off, I really enjoyed the episode, as per usual. I've never seen Kick-Ass. My first reaction when I saw that was the subject was, oh, maybe I should give it a miss, because I don't know anything about it. I've never seen it, but I thought, you know what? You're cleaning, you need something to listen to, so I listened to it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. First of all, the banter. I'm going to quote direct from this. Let's see, Guy, you were talking about Torchwood and Gotham, and I believe Callie, you were as well. I saw the first season of Torchwood, really enjoyed it, never followed it through. As for Gotham, again, saw the first season but didn't follow that one through, but really enjoyed it. So I think I do need to go back and watch both of those again, because I'm going back years when I watch those. So I will be taking those in again. I did enjoy Gotham. I just didn't get far enough into it for it to make an impact on me, if that makes any sense. But I will be doing, let's see. And you were talking about that, I believe there's a Kick-Ass 1 and 2, and there's a Kick-Ass 3 coming out, which you described as being a cross between the a bit like the In-Betweeners with superpowers. I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of the In-Betweeners. I have watched it and I have giggled at it, but I just probably find it a little over coarse, and that's not like me. But I just remember watching it, and some of the lines in it, it's like, oh dear, really? You're going to say that? So I did quite enjoy the movie, and I've enjoyed certain episodes of the series, and I have seen them all because Rob likes it. He giggles like a girl at it. He loves it. But I can take it or leave it. But so yeah, I totally get you on that one. But as for Kick-Ass, never seen it. I had this weird idea, and I've not looked this up on the internet. I probably should have done. But I had this weird idea that Jonathan Ross's wife either wrote it or had something to do with it. Am I right on that? Before I go and look it up, let me know. But you got me sufficiently interested in the first movie, especially, is it Hit Girl, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, the girl who always looks like she's about to burst into tears to me. Her eyes always seem to be filled with water. She always looks like she's about to cry. But you reckon her performance is absolutely outstanding in this, so I have ordered both 1 and 2 for the grand total of £5. £5.79, something like that, from Amazon. So I will be taking a look at it. So that episode did have the desired effect. You've got me interested in a movie that I would never ever have dreamed of even looking at. So I'm looking forward to taking those in. As I say, cracking episode, guys, and looking forward to seeing what you're covering on the next one. So let's see. Jason P. Christ, how long have I got? Morning, Jay. Always good to hear from you. Well, that was another 80 minutes that flew by. Thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate that. As I've said before, if I live to be 100, I'll never understand why you guys love sitting me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My head is all over the place this morning. I should have got more sleep last night before attempting this. Yeah, I'll never understand in a million years why you guys find it so entertaining me sitting here with a mug of next to nothing, just prattling on. But I'm certainly glad you do. I'm certainly glad you do, because I love doing this. So thanks, Jace. That's appreciated. Screener tapes. Screener tapes. Yeah, you let me watch a couple. Thanks. I thought I might have lent you some. There were a couple of other customers in there that got hold of them as well. Killers of the Flower Moon. I watched it all and wished I hadn't. I was glad when it ended. It wasn't shit. It was just a long, drawn-out movie. The wife went to bed after an hour. Every time I see it on my hard drive, I think I really want to get into this, but I want to watch it in one sitting. I don't want to watch an hour and a half here and then half an hour there. I want to watch it all in one go. So that is literally a morning's work, isn't it? So I get that. Movie journal, yeah, like that's going to happen. That'll still be blank in 2027 or only a few pages used. We want to see it at the end of 2025. I think I'm going to start using it now. The thing is, leave it with me, but I promise you I will be using it. I've also got something on the computer at the moment that's a kind of a watch list, but a manageable bite-sized one. I'll explain it at some other point, but I will be using that diary, I promise you. 52-week challenge. One of the weeks was you watch a film that everybody else has seen and you haven't. That could last a few years, not just 1 week. You know me far too well. You were obviously reading the pages as I was attempting to flick through it. I really do so badly want to get myself properly organised and get some serious movie watching. It's not quite happened yet, and I get that. I get the fact that obviously when I lost my mum and I gained all this extra time during the day, I thought, I will now be able to start catching up on movies, but it's not worked out that way just yet. I'm too disorganised, I'm too scatterbrained, I'm too sort of all over the place, and it needs to stop, and it really does need to stop. Leave it with me, please leave it with me. You will see improvements over the next few weeks, I promise you, because I can think of nothing nicer than, like now, going into the other room, putting a film on and just sitting there and watching it without picking up my phone or pausing it for 10 minutes to come and check what's happening on here and all that sort of thing. I need to just concentrate on watching the movie and getting more of them watched and setting aside proper times when I can do it, not just this hit and miss sort of, I'll watch it at the weekend but not not at a specific time. I do apologise, I'm stammering, and as I say, my head's all over the place, so just bear with me on this. But you will see improvements, I promise you. The video shop next to Irish's, we were talking about the old video shops, weren't we? Was the video store. Its logo was a red squirrel. That's right, I remember it now. As you walked in, it was all VHS videos, but they also had the shop next door, which was all Betamax. My uncle had Betamax at the time, so we had to walk past all the great movies that were, at the time, only available on VHS to enter the shitty collection of Betamax tapes. I never actually saw a Betamax tape. I know somebody who had a Betamax machine, and he told me that Betamax, picture quality wise, was far superior to VHS. But I've never seen it, so I don't know. He used to rent them from the one on Derby Road, just off the bridge. There was one, and he used to rent them from there. I think it was the late 80s that the Betamax section vanished. It lasted that long. In one side of the shop it was all daily rentals on VHS, and in the other side it was weekly rentals. It was always good to grab a daily rental on a Saturday, as they didn't open on a Sunday, so you got a free day with that. On the subject of going into the shop and seeing the film you wanted and them only having one copy, well, our local shop did videos. I would go in at lunchtime on my way back to school to see the film I wanted. I never had cash on me, so I'd hide the video case behind a box of cornflakes or something. Then, when I finished school, I'd go home for a quid and go and retrieve my movie. I did this twice from memory: The Golden Child and Jaws the Revenge. Yeah, Jaws the Revenge, for fuck's sake. I haven't seen Jaws the Revenge yet. Um, I'm going to be grabbing a 4K copy of that when it's released on in August, along with Jaws 3, which I've got on Blu-ray, but I've also got Jaws 2 on 4K, and I'm fairly sure there's going to be a Jaws 4K collector's Ultimate Edition box set for its 50th anniversary next year. So I will be double dipping and getting um, that, definitely. The Jaws on 4K next year. I'm losing the thread. I'm seriously losing the thread here. Where were we? Just bear with me a second. Let me just get my head together on this. Yeah, we're talking about Jaws the Revenge. I do want to watch Jaws the Revenge. I've heard it's a terrible film. I'm also aware of Michael Caine's quote when he was asked about the movie, and he said he'd never actually seen it, but he had seen the house that it bought for his mum. So, yeah, I can't completely get that. The Golden Child I saw years ago. Haven't seen it recently. It's another one I maybe need to catch up with. Never seen. I'm literally just running out of movies. You have to remember, I've been watching movies for 40 years. Movies was my life, and I'd rent anything out. You used to be able to rent 7 films for a five. I remember that, for a week from the video store. Yeah, they were about 2 years old, but this is how I watched them back then, just playing catch up. And even though I've never seen Star Wars, I wouldn't watch it even just for the thread. I know it will go off after 10 minutes. Do you know what? You either like Star Wars or you don't. Is it just Star Wars that you don't like, or is it science fiction generally? I'm curious. You probably told me before, but I can't remember. I can't remember my own name at the moment. So, yeah, Star Wars, you're either into it or you're not. I love it because I remember going to see the original at the cinema, having the screen all to myself after, I think it had been there like 3-4 weeks, and I think everybody had been, and I just went after school one afternoon, and just sat through the whole thing and came out thinking, wow, what a movie, and loved it ever since. So, but I do get that you wouldn't like it. I'm fairly sure you wouldn't. Colour Purple. I may or may not watch this again, but for the sake of getting off my arse and flipping the disc one more time in my lifetime, I can cope with the DVD. And to be fair, I've not watched it again within 10 years. It'll be binned off back to the hospital shop from whence it came. To be honest, I'm amazed you got through that one. I would not have put you and The Colour Purple together in a million years, but I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I haven't seen it for years. I just remember the ending being so distressing. Peter Sellers did 5 Pink Panther movies. He did. Eddie Murphy is supposed to be remaking it. What? Why? Why would you do that? Steve Martin, I can quite understand it because he could. I can imagine him pulling that off. I've not seen it, but I can see him in the role. Eddie Murphy. No, 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 just no. Diet. Now, we're going to digress a bit here. So if you're not interested in me and my health, just skip forward 10 minutes or so. We should be done. This is to do with me saying that I need to go on a diet and lose weight and stuff like that and get my health sorted. I didn't do any of the Slimming World or Weight Watchers shite. I didn't watch calories either, didn't exercise at all. I just stopped eating chocolate, cakes, biscuits, pastries and crisps. I still had a takeaway once a month and my meals were normal portions. I love chocolate, I love cakes, I love crisps. I don't particularly want to give them up. What I can do is to cut the portions of them way, way back. The amount of chocolate that I used to clear in a day was obscene. It's come down a lot. I need to cut it down even more. I think the sugar levels at the moment are around about 7 or 8. I want to bring them down to 5, which I can do quite easily. Now, whether you'll think that's a right way to do it or not, I don't know. I keep going online and there's all these fanatics saying, nope, you can't have them ever. And then there's other people on there saying, you can have them, just have them in moderation. Instead of, eating a full Terry's chocolate orange, just have a quarter of it, put the rest back in the fridge. So that's probably how I'm going to do it. Same as takeaways. We only have one a week. It's the pizza. And we struggled last night. We really struggled with it. Whether it was because it was hot and we weren't really, as hungry as probably normal, I don't know, but we both really struggled with it. And I over ordered terribly. I cut the size of the pizza down, but I ordered 3 sides. I think it was chicken wings, chicken poppers, which never even got touched, and those little croquette potato things with bacon, which we both struggled with. So I know that things have to change. I've got to cut down, seriously cut down. Apart from anything, I'm wasting a shitload of money. I lost 3 stone from September the 1st to December the 1st in 2020, which was lockdown year, which was a good time to do it because you couldn't go anywhere or do anything. Food was scarce because obviously all the hoarders were stripping the shelves. As we kept hearing out that lockdown was bringing out the best in people. Absolutely did not. It brought out the absolute fucking worst in people. I went back on the diet in January and lost another 2 stone before Easter. Over the last 3 years, it's been slowly going back on. Since Easter 2021, I've put on 1.5 stone, which isn't bad really. And I was walking around a bit due to work for most of a 12-hour shift, whereas now I don't do as much walking. And then he went on to talk about your job at Argus, which you can read about on the WhatsApp. I've made sort of rough notes on here, but I can't make head and tail of it. I actually wrote this. I sort of condensed it down, and I can't make head and tail of it. I think from what I can make out here, you convinced you worked at Argus at the time, that it wasn't a good idea to be walking around the perimeter of the building at night in case somebody whacked you over the head with a 2x4, and their solution was to give you a torch. What a caring, sharing company Argus are. So yeah, that was your no, that's yeah. Right, I went off on a tangent and we forgot we were on about diets, but hey, it makes this comment a bit longer, doesn't it? It certainly does. I've just had to scroll up to see where I was. So, since Easter, I've been back on a diet, but not stuck to it for more than a month. Now, having discovered I have an irregular heartbeat, and the doc says my cholesterol is 4.3 when he would like it to be under 4. So, not too bad. I went back on a diet on July 1st. I was really, really lucky. I went and had my bloods done probably about 3-4 months ago. They came back, and believe it or not, cholesterol was fine, liver was fine, kidney function was fine, all of that, everything was okay. It was just sugar levels were a bit high, and I was overweight, so I needed to lose a few stone if I can. But I was actually quite fortunate that I didn't get any of that stuff that you've got to deal with. But the way I'm carrying on, the way I'm still eating, you can only spin that wheel so many times and get a favourable result before it backfires on you. So I know things have got to change. You put no more cakes, pastries like sausage rolls, quiche, etc., crisps, biscuits or fizzy pop. Fizzy pop I do enjoy, but it is Pepsi Max cherry. I know I should probably cut that down and, I used to get sparkling water and add cordial to it. It was absolutely delicious. I don't know why I didn't stick with it. But the rest of it, I still enjoy, like the sausage rolls, quiches, but I've just got to get used to smaller portions. It's like when I buy 4 of those. I know this is not movie related, guys, but bear with me. When you buy 4 of those massive muffins from the co-op, I'll bring all 4 in after we've had tea, and we'll eat 1 each. And then we'll both kind of look at each other and look down at the WhatsApp, and he'll say, well, seems a shame to put it back. We might as well finish them off. And that's it. You've had 2. And they are massive. They're huge. So I know things have got to change. Still on normal meals, but it was always after a meal I wanted something sweet. Then after a few hours, I'd want something savoury. So now, since July 1st, it's breakfast at 10 a.m, dinner at 3 p.m, and a piece of fruit if hungry around 6. No snacks or anything like that. In the first 2 weeks, I lost 1 stone. That's good in 3 weeks. That is really good. I aim to lose another 1.5 stone between now and Christmas, which I know I can do. Then in December, I have a cholesterol blood test to see if I've been a good boy. But before then, I've got to have another. Now you put Gia Shocker. I think you meant heart shocker, didn't you? As the last one didn't work. Apart from that, I'm good. Great vid, mate. But why diet? There's fuck all on you, and you can cook nice, healthy meals in the air fryer, but not while it's still in the pissing box, for fuck's sake. I get that. There is something on me. I'm 16 stone 6 as of yesterday. I actually got it down to 16.3 before the week off that I had a couple of weeks ago, and it all just crept back on. So I'm back on it again. I'm easing off. I'm going to start walking again from tomorrow. I may even go out for half an hour after I finish recording this. I got into a habit of going for a walk after work. I'd just get in, let myself in, drop my bags on the chair, fuss the dog for a minute, and then go straight out for a 30-minute walk, stick a podcast on, well away. Did it for about 3 weeks, and it promptly trod a path into oblivion, never did it again. This was about a month ago. So I need to pick that up because I really enjoyed it, and the weight was coming down. And I don't mind if it's half a pound a week. You know, it doesn't matter how far forward you go. Forward is forward, as far as I'm concerned. So thanks for all that, Jace. What I'm thinking of doing is keeping a record of. I actually bought this, and I know you'll think this is going to treat this is going to do the same way as the film journal, but somebody suggested keeping a food journal, and it's basically you put all your stats in, and then you've got a place to put your breakfast, dinner, lunch, snacks, exercise that you do in that particular day. I've also downloaded an app called My Fitness Buddy, which you can log all your meals down, and it basically takes it off your daily calorie intake, so you can see where the calories are going and how much you've got left at the end of the day for like whatever you want to eat. So I am on it, and I also started a group about 2 years ago. I think it was called My Life Goals at 60, and all I used to post on there was like motivational quotes and recipes and stuff like that. Nothing ever serious on it. So I'm thinking of kicking that off again with a few short videos of how the health journey is going, because as I said before, you can only take chances with it for so long, and sooner or later it will bite you on the arse and say, do you know what, we've warned you, this is what's going to happen now. So, and I don't want to go that far. I've already had one stroke, I don't want another. So thanks ever so much for that, mate, much appreciated. I'm going to take another quick break, and I'll be back hopefully for the final furlong, and I'll be glad to see the back of it this week, because this is not going well. Back in a sec. And we're back. Right, forgive me for doing this to you guys, but I'm going to wrap this up. It's not been the best, certainly not my finest hour. I can only put it down to lack of sleep, which means my head is all over the place. I've done my best with it. I will be back the same time next week, hopefully back on top form. If I can get a decent night's sleep, get some notes made up in advance. It never seems to go very well when I throw something together at the last minute, and I literally came downstairs this morning, put all the notes in, and just started recording. It never really works for me. So as I say, please forgive me for doing this to you guys. I've managed for an hour, so that's not too bad. But I think I can promise you a decent sized video next week. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. I'm sorry I've got to do this to you, but it's just not working for me today. Have a brilliant weekend, enjoy the sun, and I will talk to you all again next week when I've got no end of stuff to get through. I've got the bits that I've not managed to get done this week, some news items that I meant to relate to you, a load of stuff here by the side of me that I've been buying, and I will be sorting all that next week. So take care, everybody. Have a brilliant weekend, and I'll talk to you again next week. And once again, thanks so much for bearing with me. Thanks. Take care. Ta-ra.